Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Partner Up. On this show, we explore the world of partnerships and collaboration, and we also explore how they can empower you as an individual and also as a business. I am your co-host, Alera Boyo, and joining me today from Akwa Ibom is my gorgeous co-host, Amanda Etuk. Hi, Amanda. How are you with us? Okay, so while we're waiting for Amanda to join us today, so if you don't know, Amanda is organizing the Akwa Ibom Tech Week, and this entire week in Akwa Ibom, it's going to be an amazing conference. Some people are already there. A lot of people traveled from Lagos to Akwa Ibom to basically experience this amazing event, and Amanda is there with our guests. Actually, the both of them are actually in Akwa Ibom for the Akwa Ibom Tech Week, and she'll be joining us in a couple of minutes. But while we're waiting for Amanda to join, I hope you guys have you guys have subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you haven't, please take this time to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You should visit Official Upgrade TV on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, like, share, and also send this episode to your friends so that they can actually get to know and learn a lot about partnerships on today's episode. I hope you've done that. Okay, great. So today's episode, our topic is link and launch, and we're talking about the strategies that work. What we're trying to do now is explore partnership strategy that drives success. And please, I forgot to mention, if you're on Instagram as well, you can follow us on partnerup_AB World on Instagram. And there you're going to be seeing our latest, updates, highlights on partnership, and so many more. So I'm going to be taking a quick break so that we can actually get to see a lot of things that is happening. We get to see our ads. And then when we come back, we'll join the show once again. Stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that lift us, others that break us. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we explore the beauty, the heartbreaks, and the incredible strength that every relationship brings into our lives. Friendship, marriages, partnerships, and everything in between.
Yes, say yes.
All the connections that shapes who we are today. Every week, we dive into the stories that define us. Stories of love, loss, heartbreaks, and healing. Real life stories from real people, just like you and I. Heartlines is where emotions meet understanding, and where we learn that we're never truly alone. Join me Mondays through Fridays at 9:30 p.m. for Heartlines, where we connect with every heart, one story at a time.
Looking to take your business to the next level through partnerships? Then join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Partner Up.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, or partnership professional, Partner Up is here to give you the tools you need to succeed.
From in-depth interviews with industry experts
To real-world case studies of successful partnership strategies that drive innovation and business growth.
we dive deep into what it takes to form successful partnerships.
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
Don't miss Partner Up.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth population and very little engagement.
That is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes, we are talking.
It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future,
Yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning once again. And if you're just joining us, this is Partner Up. On this week's episode, I have my amazing co-anchor. Hi, Amanda. Amanda is joining us from Akwa Ibom today, and I'm super excited. Hi, Mama. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. How are you now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh my God, it's good to see you.
Fine.
I've missed you. I've missed you so much. How are you good? How are you doing? How is Akwa Ibom?
I know. Oh, Akwa Ibom is great. It's great. I'll just let the cat out of the bag. We're going to talk about some exciting things about event partnerships soon.
Please, we have to.
So I'm coming to you live from Akwa Ibom Tech Week. Yeah. Yes, great to be here, Lara. Missed you as well.
Oh, I missed you. I really wish I was there. But can you tell me, before we dive into today's conversation, can you just give me a little bit around, regarding the partnerships you've been able to raise for Akwa Ibom Tech Week? How was the experience so far? I know you've been super busy juggling all of these things together, but just tell us, how has your experience been organizing the Akwa Ibom Tech Week?
This will be an episode of its own. Alera and I have talked about it already, and I can't wait for us to dive into it. But it's been exciting and at the same time exhausting. So one of the most important things that I have to go through is, after you've secured the partnership, making sure that you're delivering on your partner expectations. So that's the stage where I'm at right now. And it's a whole other production.
In fact,
getting the deal is one thing, then fulfilling
the promise,
your end of the bargain is another thing.
Yeah, in fact, I agree with you. We most likely are going to touch that topic in November, because that's a very huge topic. Because on that day, your anxiety and stress level will go up, even though you think everything is under control.
Yeah.
But well done once again. So for today's episode, we have our amazing guest that is with you.
So
He's also a guest.
Thank you. I love it.
Lovely. So Babatunde is with you today. I want us to just quickly do our wellness check. So we're going to be taking a quick break right now, and when we come back, we'll be having our guests Babatunde and Amanda joining us from Akwa Ibom. We'll be coming back with the wellness check. Please stay with us. Hi everyone. So Amanda, I want to push this over to you. Would you mind doing like an introduction about today's show, as well as introducing our guests before we do the wellness check? Hi Amanda.
Ooh, today's what?
So the highlight for today's show, the topic we're having.
I missed the last sentence.
Oh my God, technology will not embarrass us today. Please confirm you can hear me.
Ooh.
Can you hear me? Please? Oh wow.
Technology.
Okay, so I'm hoping technology doesn't mess with us today, but we're going to dive right into the conversation. So today we're talking about link and launch strategies that work. So a little background. So last week we had a conversation with a partnership expert, and the conversation we had last week was regarding getting a new job and facing mad targets. And when he was on the show, he talked about how he has been able to, clear up his targets whenever he moves into a new role. Today, we're being joined by Babatunde Obadero. Babatunde is the co-founder and CEO of Zitra Investments. With over 15 years of experience in business development and strategic planning, Babatunde brings an invaluable insight into how to literally link and launch successful businesses. And we're going to be putting he was going to be putting, different inputs as to how you can develop products and, put it into the hands of the people. So we're going to be welcoming Babatunde right now. Hi, Babatunde. I hope this internet will not disrupt our show. Hi. Hi, Amanda and Babatunde. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me? Oh, wow. Please confirm. Okay. Hi, Babatunde.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes, I can hear you right now.
Okay, that's great. I was saying that we were going into the conversation and I hadn't asked you, how are you, Alero?
I'm okay. I'm doing very well. I have been seeing more of brighter days for the past couple of weeks because I'm focusing on what's working. So yes, I'm doing very fine. How about you, Amanda? I know you've been stressed with the planning of the events, but how are you feeling today?
Today, I'm awesome. One of the things that I really like about today is that I've been able to get our guests to join us in Akwa Ibom. Yes, the network might be shaky, but Babatunde is here right now, and that's really what matters. You just have to keep the ball rolling. Whatever happens, just keep going with it.
Yeah.
Yes. So Babatunde is going to come closer into my frame.
Hi.
He's repping, of course, Zitra Investments. Babatunde has done a lot in the financial sector, and he was one of the most ideal people that we had for this. And I'm just going to get started with the first question.
I hope I'm showing up properly in the frame.
Yeah, I think we can see Babatunde.
Or do I need to?
Producers, please let's ensure that we're able to see them. Okay. Yeah, you can go on.
Okay.
Let's go with the question.
Okay.
Good morning, Alero.
Hi. How are you doing today, Babatunde? I can hear you very well. So, Amanda, you can actually start with the questions.
Beautiful.
Okay. So, let me just give you heads up. Babatunde has been on calls every single second since I've met him in Akwa Ibom.
Did anybody here need to hear that?
I'm mentioning now because the next question is very important. How do you build trust with all these partners? Since I've met Babatunde in Akwa Ibom, he's been talking to numerous partners for his business. So that's the first question. How do you build trust? Because you're in such a, high-risk business, wealth management, dealing with millions and millions of naira and dollars. So how do you build trust with your partners before we even go into anything else?
Interesting. I love that question. So a lot of times people talk a lot about customers. Customers are important. Yes, I know they are. But it's important to remember that we need partners who help us to be able to serve our customers or meet our obligations to our customers. And so for me, a lot of times I tend to put two categories of people first before customers. Apologies to customer nerds out there. My partners and my colleagues. Because to a large extent, they'll go a long way to determine how well we do that last mile, that last bit, the customers. So to your question, for customers, a lot of times okay, so look, it's all about relationships, right? Relationship building, relationship management. I have the luxury of having a long career as well, so maybe that helps. And a lot of the people I call partners today are to a large extent friends, or at least have become friends. And so it's about managing my friendship more than anything else, if that makes sense. So, I think if you use the word trust, I'll say trust is earned. So people need to see that you are trustworthy before they lend you their trust or provide access to you, or lend you their friendships or relationships. Because to an extent, what you're doing is that you're earning their trust so they can bring you into their sphere of influence, into their circle of trust, of friendship. And so that's how I say it. And it's about the little things most of the time. Something as basic as keeping to people undermine how important it is to fix an appointment and show up at that time. How important it is for your word to be your bond. For you to, for instance, they placed their trust in you and gave their money to you for a period of time. And on the day it was due, they showed up at your door or email and they received their funds as and when it was due. Those little things go a long way to determine how much of their trust you will retain and how quick they will be to refer you to someone else, put in a word for you when you need it. And I think that look, we're talking about it in the business context, so I think it's about life really at the end of the day and how we relate with other human beings.
Okay, that's a very well detailed answer. And the next question I have for you is, I think that a partnership came to mind when we were talking about building trust. So can you just tell us how you built one of your strongest partnerships? Which one comes to mind?
Okay, so I'll talk about one that I just finished having a call about.
I wasn't lying.
Because it's the business is called Today Solutions. They manage payments for some universities across Nigeria, a couple of them in Lagos. And so I'm talking about things like school fees and whatever. And look, it was just a random morning, having breakfast. I won't say the other things that were consumed, but having breakfast with a couple of friends. And somebody mentioned, off the cuff, how he's trying to solve a problem. And I just thought to myself, this guy's problem might be my own answer to something else. And over breakfast, I told him what we could do, and we hit it off and we set it up. There were hiccups that I didn't know would happen at the time. When you're talking about these things, sometimes it looks like plug and play. I'll just make money and walk away. But in real life,
it never works that easy.
It never works that easy. If it were that easy, look, we would all be billionaires, I guess. But the good part was that through the hiccups, one of the things we did that he was impressed with was that we carried him along even when there were problems. We were transparent with him on the problems, and he could also see that we were always consistently trying to find answers or solutions to those problems. Interestingly, he's a very good friend today. In fact, I discovered that he was on PBN a few weeks ago. I was like, he did here too.
Interesting.
So it's rich, and that captures for me an example of how most of our partnerships work. I literally can call almost all of our partners today my friends, and that for me is very instructive.
I love that. I love the fact
you did answer my question. There was something that you said about someone's problem. Yeah.
No, you go on. So, like him being able to,
we're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, him being able to solve, him being able to have the solution to somebody's problem. I love that too.
Exactly. I love how in sync we are, because that's exactly what came to my mind immediately he said that. So again, this is about knowing the market that you work in.
Yeah.
Alera, I know you have some questions around the market insights for how that even affects partnerships. So
in fact, the question I even want to ask Babatunde today is something that has affected me. I've had certain clients and partners who they want something specific, right? But they're not listening to, the market. So I want us to talk about the market vibes. You know, builders are also listeners, and we have to make sure that we're getting feedback. And it's really important that we actually get this feedback. So, can you please tell me, how do you gather insights that are not just, filling up spreadsheets, but are actually helping to make real moves?
Look, it's a tough one because a lot of times it's so easy to shut out your mind from what's happening around you because you're deeply engrossed in what you're all about. And if you're not careful, the market may have moved on from what you're doing, and you're totally oblivious of that to that fact. And sometimes it takes somebody who is not as deeply involved as you are, or not in your business, to look in from the outside to say, look, looks like this guy might be getting this wrong. Now, the challenge a lot of times is that particular builder might also be emotionally connected to what he's doing or building, or his mindset, right? So he's emotionally invested. And so you may need to be a bit more. Now, look, spreadsheets are nice to have. I'm not dissing spreadsheets here, and the numbers and what they tell us. But sometimes the things that is changing in the market and in the environment might not be numbers based. And so having your nose in the air to see and observe what is going on, especially allowing somebody on the outside to look into your business and your business from time to time, can help you to figure out where the issues are. I think that at the end of the day, it's important for everyone to be mindful of the fact that we don't know everything, and to be open to fresh thoughts and new ideas.
Amazing.
Or more importantly, criticisms, to be open to people throwing stones at or picking stones out of what you're doing and seeing exactly where there might be issues. Look, our businesses are our babies to a large extent.
Yeah.
That's how most entrepreneurs think. And we can be very protective of our babies, right? And letting go of that product that isn't working can become the hardest of things to do, or that new business line that is not going to cut it because there's a competitor who's beating you to it, or keeping it in the cooler till you figure out a way to do it with better margins, or with lower costs. So it's a tough one, but we need to be open to having those very, very tough conversations. And I think the best entrepreneurs, in my opinion, are those that lead with optimism, but are yet open to getting pragmatic enough to getting different thoughts or ideas that that are different from theirs.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Babatunde.
I might go on.
No, don't worry. Don't you worry. We have plenty questions for you.
For a second.
Don't worry.
We have plenty
questions.
I do have a question. Yes.
Go on.
I do have a question for Babatunde.
Yeah.
When you're launching something within a crowded market, I mentioned that financial services can sometimes be crowded, and you're approaching the same partners that your competitors have. You are literally going to the same people that your competitors are partnered with. So what is the best way to stand out, especially on the partnership angle? I don't want you to go into details. We don't want your proprietary information, but just in a crowded market, you're offering the same service as your competitors. How do you structure a partnership that makes you stand out?
Interesting. I'm going to now sound like I'm saying the same thing over and over.
No.
But I will again say the word relationship.
If you have to.
Relationships.
Now, for partners, yes, that's going to be very critical. For customers, it's a different ballgame. For customers, you need to make sure that that you have a niche, that you have something different from. I remember somebody at the Aquarium Tech event yesterday was asking me, after going through the Zitra app in the App Store, he said, this looks like, he mentioned another product. And I said, yeah. He said, okay, could you tell me what is different between that and this? And I explained something to him. Now, we saw that question coming during production, so we knew we were going to get that question again and again and again. So now to say, look, this is different because this combines this with this. No, for that's from the customer side of things. But from the partnership side, I'll say it's relationship. And what do I mean? People need to trust you. People need to know that you're going to do what you said you're going to do. People need to know that you're going to be transparent with them. You're going to show them what's happening and carry them along on time, real time. People need to know that when they turn their backs, you're not going to
do the opposite of what you
said. It's basically the core. And I keep saying to people, and I say this to my colleagues all the time, it's about being human. And it might look like it should be simple, right? But a lot of times in business, because we're struggling because we know it's tough, really. It's tough, right? And people are grappling with the day-to-day grind of, ensuring they stay alive, their business, keeps going. And they forget to be human. At the end of the day, partners are people. People care about people, and we should show them we care. We show them we have their back. We show them we're listening to their point of view. So I'm going into a partnership, and if all I'm talking about is what I'm going to get out of it, I'm going to lose that partner. If I don't lose him now, lose him in the future. Because the partner wants to know that I'm looking out for his own interests too as we go along the journey, especially if you're not looking for short-term fixes. If you're looking to play the long game, then your partner needs to know that when you get into that room to have that negotiation, you're not only thinking about yourself.
So thank you, Babatunde. At first, I was going to say you talked about relationships twice, and then what if you have no relationship to start with? But you said something that kind of answered my next question about being human, So if you don't have any relationships at all, you should approach people based on their humanity. And it's so interesting because you were not at our conversation like last night, but this is exactly what we did. We were at an informal gathering and somebody came and he was still pitching at 10 o'clock in the night. So I just said, you know what? Normally, I wouldn't say anything to you, but I think you need to stop trying to sell at this point. What do you know about me? Like, I did get, I'm like, what do you know about anyone here? You're pitching. Why don't you just relax? Have a conversation with us. Say something other than this. Why are you telling me about your product at 10 p.m.?
That's so weird.
Be human.
Yeah. But Amanda, the funny thing.
You go for networking events.
Yeah. Amanda, I was going to just talk about this thing you just mentioned. Because I'm going to, from experience, back in the day, when I just started, I also thought that you have to pitch. That's what I thought. But it was later, like Babatunde mentioned, when you're building relationships with people, when you're beginning to learn more about them, you get to understand that there are certain times that you read the room, you read the countenance of everybody, and you go with the flow. And it is that informal, situation that is now going to get you that formal meeting the next day. So if we're thinking about today, you will miss, you go miss road. You will miss road. But yeah, thank you so much for that, Amanda. So Babatunde,
because you're spot on. People are we can get to. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
go on.
Please go on. Add. I think we're really focusing on that link and launch. So I think that people really need to know how to form those links before they launch anything. And you're just rushing into the launch part. So Babatunde, please go on.
I think I understand why. I have been on both sides of the table. I've sat on both sides of the table. So the entrepreneur is very eager to see outcomes, to see the results he has painted, the pictures he's painted in his head, right? And because of the whole, I'm excited about my product. I think it's the best thing since ice cream,
sliced bread.
So I think if you don't want it, there must be something wrong with you. Like, how don't you want this?
Yeah.
Like, are you crazy? This thing
revolutionary
will blow your mind. Everybody thinks that they've got the best thing. They're coming up with the best thing. So that eagerness sometimes can be like the guy at 10 p.m. yesterday, for goodness sakes. He's very eager to get his product in your hands.
Yeah.
But again, being human means I think about the person on the other side of the table or sitting beside me at the bar at 10 p.m. after a long and hard day. Is my product the thing this guy needs to hear right now? Right. And what that does to me is what that empathy does to me is I won't give him that pitch right now. I'll just talk about the day and talk about how it's been and try to be what the person needs at that moment. And it began to sound like I'm doing some, kumbaya, whatever you want to call it kind of stuff. But I think that to Amanda's question on people learning not to
be too salesy,
not to be. I think it's very important for everyone to sometimes just step back and get to understand, like Alero said, get to understand the other person too.
Yeah. To add to this point, I've also learned that when you are in a position to serve, when you're in a position to give back, it's now easy for people to now ask you, what do you want? Because when you are always thinking of how to collect, like you want to get the next deal, you want to get the next contract, a lot of the time people will just see you as that person that is always wanting to collect. But when you enter conversations, curious to want to give back or curious to want to help or curious to want to serve, it will now be easy for those people to also want to help you and even advocate to, talk to their friends or their family members or even their people in their network regarding your product. So my question I wanted to go to next is, Babatunde, regarding how brands, because I know that brands actively listen to their customers' feedback, mostly on social media. And oftentimes they're basically picking on trends. There are certain seasonal campaigns that have to happen that affect certain businesses. And they have to pick up on those trends, to be able to offer their customers, value. So what would you say is your favorite thing to do when you want to get real deals from customers and partners? Is there like a secret to cutting through the noise and finding the feedback that is worth listening to?
Okay, so good question. I'm no marketing genius, but I think humor always works. I think people, look, in this part of the world, especially now, people are on the edge. People are under a lot of pressure. There are many unhappy people, and I think humor helps. And materials, campaign materials, marketing conversations, marketing communications that I think will do well at this time will be things that use the humorous lines or tags or approach. I think people just need to laugh or smile or feel better about themselves, and I think that could be helpful. I think at the end of the day, what you want to do is find people where they are or meet people where they are or take people to where they want to be. And so humor from my point of view, helps to take them to where they would rather be, right, instead of where they find themselves at the moment. And I'm talking, of course, from a local point of view here, Nigeria as a context.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So we're going to be going on a quick break, and when we come back, Amanda will continue with the questions that we have. Stay with us.
Looking to take your business to the next level through partnerships? Then join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Partner Up.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, or partnership professional, Partner Up is here to give you the tools you need to succeed.
From in-depth interviews with industry experts
to real-world case studies of successful partnership strategies that drive innovation and business growth.
We dive deep into what it takes to form successful partnerships.
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
Don't miss Partner Up.
Imagine the world where the voices of the youth finally get the spotlight they deserve.
Welcome to Raise Breakfast, the groundbreaking show where young minds unite together to tackle issues that truly matter.
We're flipping the script on traditional morning talk shows, and this is your chance to hear the youth speak out.
We're not just skimming headlines, we're diving deep into the heart of topics that impact us all.
From politics to governance, tech innovations, mental health, and trendy social issues.
We don't just discuss, we ignite conversations that inspire change and spark action.
Join us every morning for fresh, young, and vibrant perspectives
that empowers the next generation to make a difference.
Start your day right with Ways Breakfast, because when the youth speak, the world listens. Ways Breakfast, weekdays at 8 a.m. live on Upgrade TV.
Life is made up of moments, some that lift us, others that break us. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we explore the beauty, the heartbreaks, and the incredible strength that every relationship brings into our lives. Friendship, marriages, partnerships, and everything in between.
Yes, say yes.
All the connections that shapes who we are today. Every week, we dive into the stories that define us. Stories of love, loss, heartbreaks, and healing. Real life stories from real people, just like you and I. Heartlines is where emotions meet understanding, and where we learn that we're never truly alone. Join me Mondays through Fridays at 9:30 p.m. for Heartlines, where we'll connect with every heart, one story at a time.
And welcome back to Partner Up. If you're just joining us, please remember that you're subscribing to Official Upgrade TV on YouTube to watch this amazing show on a weekly basis. We air at 10 a.m. every Thursday on this favorite channel. Hi, Amanda. I know that you have a question to ask, because this is going to be a really short episode because yourself and Babatunde are at Agwaibom Tech Week, and I know you have to go on stage pretty soon. Hi, Amanda. Would you like to go ahead with the questions you have for Babatunde?
Yes, I'm just going to double down on one of the questions Alero asked about what is noise when you're getting feedback. I know that we're building, especially in the financial sector, new features every day. How do you determine what is the right thing to sell? So we've been talking about linking up, knowing how to even set the tone for this product or service that you have. But how do you find the right way to launch? What would you launch with? Like, you've listened to your customer, you've had the nice informal chat, you had the formal conversation, the meetings, you built out the app. But what do you pick to sell per time? How do you determine what to launch and how to launch it?
I think, and look, there are usually different approaches to these things. But I think for me, it's to start, I like keeping things simple and stupid for a start. The reason is that, look, people don't really like complicated stuff. There's a mindset from the builder that is more complicated, that is into all of the details.
Yeah.
The guy on the other side doesn't want all of your details, right? So a lot of times, keep it simple and stupid at first. I also think that using the feedback loop from the clients is very important, meaning you pushed it out, it is not working, it's not working. And how do you know if it is not working? You know, basically three things. One, how the people responsible for selling it feel when they come back from the marketplace. A lot of times, some of the feedback we need is internal. The guy responsible, the growth person, the salesperson, they're telling you things, or they can't tell you things, depending on what kind of leader you are as well. They're carrying a lot of information. They've soaked up a lot of information from the market, right? That can be very useful to what you're doing. And obviously, third, customer. Customer will tell you either by the optics or lack of optics, or by what they choose to use on your product. So sometimes you created a product for something and the market is using it for something totally different from what you created it for. And look, guy, abandon your reason and stick with what the market has chosen to use it for, because that's their real need. In the first place, you created what you created in order to meet a need, or at least a perceived need. The market is saying that's not what we need it for. We need it for something totally different. It's your job to adapt and ensure that you optimize for what the market needs it for. Look, especially when the person responsible for this product is, I'm not throwing stones at developers and tech gurus, but they can be quite stuck in their minds about what they're building and how it should go.
You said, like, you drop a lot of nuggets without even knowing. So there's something that you said that has struck a chord for me. You said the internal feedback.
Yeah.
What do your growth people say? And then in this case, we'll say, what do your partnerships people say when you send them out? And it just takes me back to a conversation I had with Alero about sometimes swimming against the tide and then just riding the wave. So I want to know, how do you measure when you are getting relevant feedback from your sales team, your partnerships team, your marketing people? Because yes, internal feedback is important because they are selling the product. They should be able to tell you a few things. But when do you know when it's BS? Like we talked about,
that's an important question. No,
we talked about target last week. New job man targets, and then somebody you've said, okay, internal feedback. Let's listen to that, and then how do you see? So sometimes I really we'll get into it. I know we said we're going to, but here we are.
This life is just hard, man.
No, it's a real question.
I was talking to someone yesterday. I was talking about how only God knows how many job interviews I have done in my life. And people sit in front of you and tell you what they're going to do when they get in. Like they would turn water to wine, they would feed 5,000 people with fish, with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. You get all sorts of great stuff. And you're looking at the person like, wow.
Solve all my problems. What a great hire.
What a great hire. That's all that's going to your head.
Close that. A few
and this is December of the previous year. You're thinking about you're going to smash all your next year targets and budget. Your investors will be happy with you. But like my people will say, lo and behold, this person comes in and
you're not telling what that's why.
Not. And by media appraisal, you're shaking your head like that's if you can wait till that long. Some people by 3rd month, which I also think is not good. But that's another conversation.
We'll still get into that question.
By 3rd month, you're like,
you're seeing the true colors.
I need to get this person out. I am trying to navigate how to get this. No, but to your question, I do not think all of your people will be bad people, except you are a totally employer as well. If you're a bad employer, of course, you would have bad employees. Not all of your people will be terrible. So once you have learned to trust, should be able to answer the questions that you asked. Meaning that I can sit down with the ones who, and I think even the ones let's go back. A lot of times, yes, I know that people can become very entitled. People can become very quick to blame the tools for their inability to do the work properly. But a lot of times there's some truth in what they are saying. Yes, maybe this guy didn't deliver what he promised, but he's also telling me that the market is saying to him that the product, the product could be easier for customers to onboard on if we do A, B, C. Maybe it's time I listened to him on the onboarding process he complained about. And instead of just assuming that, Oga, you said you were going to give me 500,000 downloads in 3 months, but you are still on 10,000. Maybe he wouldn't have done the 500,000. Maybe he would have done 3 times what he's done if, the onboarding process was simpler or easier. I'm saying that it's always difficult to find someone who's all bad. There's probably some good in there somewhere. Again, I'm talking about being human somehow.
Yeah.
I'm going back there again. And you can find the good in people if you also try more.
100%.
There is no one I have let go that I haven't felt that maybe I could have done something more. I could have tried a bit more. I could have been a bit more patient. I could have thought it better. And I think that to my mind helps, and goes a long way in getting better outcomes.
In fact, this last thing you said, this
yeah,
last thing Babatunde just
Alera,
said,
please go on.
we are going to talk about it. So, like,
Yes, we
another
should.
time, I love that he said when it's like time to let some people go, he wonders, should I still let them stay? Can I still train them? Can I still help them to become better? That's a good question that a leader actually should think about and also ask. The question I want to ask Babatunde, I know we're going to round up pretty soon, but I want to ask you, like, regarding launching your new product now, you need to have a good team. Because one of the things you talked about is, okay, now you've hired somebody, the person is doing amazing, but you really want to see that value as to the results in revenue, the results in numbers of downloads. So in order to launch, what is the secret to having a great team behind that successful project that you want to put together, you want to put out? What's that secret to actually getting the right team that can, fire up that project to make sure that you're able to crush, the goals that you projected?
To my mind, I think there are three things. One, and I'll start with the leader first. I think the idea needs to be clear in the leader's mind. The leader needs to know exactly what he wants to achieve or what she wants to achieve. That clarity will go a long way to determine where things go in the end. Second is that leader needs to be able to communicate the thoughts in his head very clearly to everyone on the team.
Yeah.
And it's not that I told them once. I'm speaking here about constant, repetitive communication, verbal, non-verbal, constantly drumming into the ears of the team what we're about until everyone, at least almost everyone, is on board. I think that even pardon my language, well, I don't think this is a bad one. Even the dumbest team member will catch on. Maybe it won't be at 100. It will be at maybe 50. Will catch on to that constant repetitive action that the leader does. Third is that from the get-go, the leader it's important for the team to be built in such a way that people are doing, or people are at relevant roles, or people are doing what they're good at. People are set up to do what they're good at. How do I know if this person is good at that? Two ways. Antecedents. Where has he been? What was he good at? I don't just check CVs. When I say antecedents, I didn't say check the CV. I mean, I use my informal network a lot. I talk to people. I use back channels a lot to find out what this person was at in his old room. Because I think a lot of times, I know what we can do with CV now. Somebody, I was going to say something in Yoruba, but I have to use English. I'll say in Yoruba then I'll interpret. There's a Yoruba saying that on the streets that says, Tisha Tishamole. What that literally means that the teacher was once a student too.
Yeah.
So you can make your CV look good, but you cannot make your past experience sound good to the people who were there when you showed up. They knew exactly what version of you showed up, and that thing sticks. They will remember. I used to have one nonsense teammate that year, so you can't change that story, right?
Yeah.
You can be better elsewhere, but at least I have an antecedent to look at. So it's important that I think for me those are the three key things that will determine how I would approach that.
Thank you so much, Babatunde.
Of course.
And everybody, if you're still watching us, this is Partner Up. It's been an awesome conversation with Babatunde Obadero and Amanda Etuk, and they are both joining us from Akwa Ibom today. I'm really excited that they were able to, have this session with us. Yes, I love that. I really love that. Oh God, I'm so jealous. This should be happening here in the studio. But I mean, I would try to behave myself. I'm not jealous. But when you come back, we need to meet. We need to see. So
we will see soon.
Yes, we will. So we've discussed everything around building trust with partners and how to launch your products and even make sure that you actually land, the strategies that you actually set out. Remember, the right partnership can compel your business to new heights. So let's keep linking up and keep, launching real big. I wanted to just do a recap because I'm going to give Babatunde like 60 seconds to just, do like a last word for us. Do you want to just quickly tell us something about Babatunde? Then next, Amanda. Oh, okay. So I believe that we have to wrap up for now. So before you go, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Also, follow us on Instagram at PartnerUp_AB World for the latest updates on all partnerships. Join us and join the conversation. Drop a comment. See, guys, I wasn't joking when I said we're going to do giveaways very soon. So when the giveaway starts, all the comments that would have been piling up, we're going to select randomly and we're going to send you guys, the gifts that we promised you. But please keep those comments coming, keep sharing our links, and keep talking about, Partner Up and how we can help people. Share with your family and your friends, and please, you should not be the only one benefiting from this, right? So thank you guys so much for joining us once again. Until we see you next week, please stay partnered up. Take care.